Okay, so I'm going to put this first, and then I'm just going to do everything that I've been doing, which isn't really that much. Basically, I'm trying not to get depressed here, people. Okay. Like, I have all this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful fabric. First of all, that I haven't been able to sew with for years, in part because of the yard. I spend so much time out there, but it is what it is, right? And then, you know, when ShaMay was alive and Ciera was alive, right? I had 3 girls, right? Like, I have a whole thing of beautiful little purses. Like, I mean, yeah, Tisha's gonna get all the purses now, but I just wandering through the house, and I don't know. I'm missing my daughters, basically. I feel like there's just this great big gap. There's this huge gap in my life, right? All right. And with our so-called governments, trashing everything, right? They've shut down all the clubs again, and just doing all kinds of crazy crap, right? I don't know. So I don't know what to do with this fabric. It's not like the good old days when women were actually respected, when dancers were real dancers. They weren't expected to do lap dancing. They weren't expected to do half shows. They weren't expected to go into prostitution. But that's what our government has basically done to thousands and thousands of women, right, over the last 10, 15 years. They blame the internet. Oh, well, the internet, it's so easy to access, nudity on the internet. But no, it's more than that. They tore down all the old hotels, and and now that they've shut down everything completely, right? Like, I don't know what to do with this fabric. All right, I want to use some of it. That's right. If I can get that sewing machine to work, because my sewing room it's all bogged down with paperwork in there. You've seen it, War Room 2, right? I mean, I can't really sew in there, so I might try and set up that sewing machine and see if I can get it working first. And then just maybe make a few little things for Amari or something. And I need to make some boxer shorts for Andre, and just simple little things like that. Maybe if I get into that and start with that, and, it will, I don't know, just move things along, I guess, get me going on it. If I can't get the sewing machine to operate, then, do something with it, right? Because it goes with the desk itself, right? Or if I can get it going, but I don't really want it, I can always try and sell it first before I give it away, right? Because, my life is changing, right? So before I do any of that, I want to sit down and try and use it. And I'm kind of like was in my bedroom, and I was, I've got so much beautiful fabric. I've got fabric, just like I've got food all over the house, people. I've got fabric all over this house, okay? And, and I'm looking at my clothes. I got such beautiful, beautiful clothes, people. And nowhere to, jackets. I have beautiful, beautiful jackets that, were supposed to go to my girls, more than one, and like, I'm like, well, what are you going to do with these jackets? Like, maybe you should try and put them online and sell them. It's not like you can go out even to a club if you even wanted to. Not that I ever did, because I've always been so busy and tired that, the last thing I want to do is dress up and go dancing. I haven't gone dancing for like 2-3 years, so it's not, I'm not hurting for me. I'm hurting for all the young people that want to dance and blow off steam, right? But, what if I wanted to? I have what am I going to get dressed up for YouTube? I'm like, today I'm looking at this stuff in my room, and I'm like, fuck, why don't you put on your little sequins this and your earrings, and, I've said this before, but when you work like me, people, it's like so hard, right? Because you're tired, you're worn out. you know, and then you kind of become fake, right? You know, like I try and keep it real, right? You know, I'm in the dirt, and you know, I'm in the rafters, and you know, I'm in the fucking climbing roofs, and you know, I'm doing all this stuff and building ponds and playing with cement and, and climbing trees and in bushes, and you know, I mean, like if I came in all the time dressed up with glitter this and glitter that, I mean, it wouldn't be real, right? Although I have it all because, you know, I was a pretty sexy lady in my day, right? So, I don't know what to do with it. Tisha doesn't want it all. She doesn't want it all. It's too much. Some of it wouldn't even fit her. Or it's not her style. All right? I can't even open my closet, people. I got a closet full of freaking clothes that I never wear. I have the other closet that's full of freaking jackets, beautiful, beautiful jackets. And then I've got another closet full of costumes that just sit there, right? Because I'm afraid to put them online because of these fucking trolls that have been harassing me all these years. So I'm kind of like depressed with it all today because I gotta, you know, move it around. Gotta do something with it. So maybe if I make some little booties for Amari and make him a pillow and start with some boxer shorts and I came across this really nice, for example, right? I'm going to end it on this note. It's a good note, right? And I'm really going to try. If I can get this sewing machine working, I'm going to try it, okay? In my room, I was in my room, you know, I'm pittering around a bit here and there. And I came across this fabric that's a velour, eh? And it's a blue. I can't tell you the color of the blue. I don't know. It's not really a navy blue, but anyway, I'm like, oh, well, what can you do with this? You can make yourself a nice pair of velour pants. You could. Or, hey, I could make Amari a nice little velour outfit. Nice, because it's a nice deep blue, right? Deep blue, right? And I'm like, yeah, you know, like the good old days, eh? Because I used to sew for my kids all the time, right? So I guess that's maybe why I pulled out that machine, right? Because, you know, my haul is not very big, people. It's not even 10 feet long, right? And like this house it's been a faithful house, but it's a hard house to live in, trust me, for different reasons, right? And, you know, I don't know if I have this wheelchair that I have for Amari, and I'm going to do a video and thank the people that helped to fundraise for that stuff, but that will be another day. I think at the Variety Club or something like that. But anyway, you know, it's pretty small, so I might be able to get it down my hall without having to move that out. But then I've got this other thing that's over here that's got food in it. So I kind of have to move that out, right? And I just like, it's just stupid. And you know, there's no emergency on it yet. I'm working my way in that direction, but anyway, I got that sewing machine up now, and I'm going to pitter with it throughout the week. I'm trying to stay off the internet for a bit. I'll still make videos, little here, little there, right? And just deal with it one day at a time. Peace out. Okay, so, and here I thought I was done with apples. This is what I got from Auntie ShaMay's fridge today. And those ones were the ones that I first picked. That's why they're starting to look a little shriveled, but that's okay. You go further down, and this one's still in pretty good shape, right? These ones are even better, right? Nice and firm because they're newer, right? And then I've got that other bag yet. So I'm going to do these tonight, and I'm going to, I don't know, it's going on 8 o'clock already, people, and I'm already tired, but I'm going to cook these up and wash some jars, throw them in the oven, and then, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. This is going to take an hour or two, right, to do. And then by then it will be, what, 10 o'clock. I really don't want to be up to 2 o'clock in the morning canning, but I might have to be. Okay, so I'm just using the big pot. I'm not bringing out the other pots for this, people. Like the steamers, right? I'm not bringing out the steamers, but I did take, right, the old cheesecloth. It's clean. It's just stained from all the stuff I've been doing. Little bit of water, just a little bit, right? And then you can see, and now I'm going to take these apples, I'm going to start slicing them up, and then I'm going to just bring it up to about, well, you know, bring it up to 4, 5, whatever, get it going, and then turn down the heat with the lid on so it cooks right through, so that I can juice these. And of course, I still got more down there, you can see, right? Okay, so there is the grapes that I've done so far, minus the skins and the seeds, which are dehydrating. Now, I know it's hard to see. So, you can see there's little bits of grapes in there right along with the juice, right? So what I'm going to do, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to probably run this through a jelly cloth, right? Let the juice drain out. Save it. Maybe I'll can just straight up grape juice. And then I want those little grape balls, right? Do you see? And then this is done. You can see. Right, so turn that off. And because I put it in a cheesecloth, I should be able just to gather it up, let it cool down for a few minutes. Now it's getting on like going on 11:30 at night here, but I put my jars in the oven, so I am going to do this tonight. Okay, I got enough of them in there. You know, you can't see, but anyway, my son went out to go buy jars today, and guess what? No jars to be found, people. Jars are getting hard to find. Oh, what am I doing to this camera? Jars are getting hard to find. But I still have a few, and if I have to, I can get into other jars and move them around and put them in other jars and free up a few other jars. And right? So anyway, this is now ready to juice, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the juice from this, which is going to be rich in petition, because the apples that I peeled were actually one of the first apples that fell from that tree, which wasn't as ripe as, say, those apples down there. Those ones were riper, right? I can do those ones tomorrow. And then instead of canning it like that, I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, I'm going to try it. Instead of canning it like that, I just want these little grape jelly things. You can see, this is what I want. And then I'm going to mix it in with some apple juice. Straight up apple juice. I used very little water. And then I'm going to simmer it to thicken it up with some sugar. So I kind of want to make a jelly, but just not as jelly. Right? I want it more like, I want it between a cross of a syrup and a jelly. I want it in the middle. That's what I want. I know what I get, I don't know. Right? So let's see what we get. Hold on. Okay, so this is what I'm looking for. Can you see? It's just a little more thicker, right? Okay, and then I'm going to take this, okay? See, there's the juice. I'll do the juice tomorrow, right? But do you see this apple juice right here? Okay, it's a little hot for me to pull this out. But once I pull this out, there's going to be a little bit more liquid that's going to go in here. So I'm going to take this stuff, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it in there, and then I'm going to start cooking it. I'm going to bring it to a boil first, right? Everything comes to a boil. And then I'm going to turn it down, and I'm going to simmer it for however long, 45 minutes up to an hour. Obviously, I'm going to throw a bit of sugar in there, because what I want to do is I want to thicken it up, right? So that you know, you can use it on pancakes, or I can mix it into Amari's food, right? I'm not trying to make an applesauce, but the petition will help to thicken it, and you'll just require less sugar. And obviously take out any seeds that I missed. This is why my fingers are being oxidized right now, because I'm working with grapes. Like I said yesterday, that's all I did all day long, right? Put this much in there plus that much. So, okay, so we'll be back. Hold on. Okay, so you don't need a lot. You can see, right? And then, of course, there's still more in there, but that's too hot, eh? So as I get this all in here and get this cooking, I'll squeeze out just a bit more from that, and that by that time, hopefully that will be a little cooler, right? So that's what I'm going to do. Hold on. Okay, so I'm looking at maybe 2 liters of pushing on 3 juice. I figure about 2, right? Now I have these jars, a few of them, not too many. This is the old school ones, if you remember that size, right? I actually have the glass rims with the rubber if I really need them, but I also have lids for these. So I've got a couple of these jars kicking around. So I'll probably do that tomorrow morning at some point. I'm just going to can up straight up juice. Okay, because this is what I wanted, people. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this to a boil. Hold on. I'm going to bring this to a boil. Right? And boil it for a few minutes. I don't know what it tastes like. I haven't tasted it yet. Let's taste it. Alright. Took out my few extra seeds that I missed. I'll rinse those off. I'll throw them in a dehydrator. Alright. Waste not, want not. There's nutrition in them. People can eat those. Okay. This is just the straight up juice, which I'll put back in the jar. But before I do that, I'm going to rinse it out. And then I'm going to put it back in the jar or in that, and I'll put it in the fridge, and I'll deal with it tomorrow. I mean, technically, I don't have to rinse it out, but whatever. Tastes like sour grapes. It would require sugar. Okay, let's taste this one. Now, I picked those grapes a little sooner, which actually, when it comes time to canning grapes, it was the right thing to do. Right? But, and then catch your seeds, because you don't get every seed, right? It's hard. Sit there and do a million grapes. So I gave it a good stir. Now I'm heating it up. I haven't put no sugar in it yet. There's a fair amount of apple juice in there. But we're going to boil this down now, right? Just to thicken it up naturally. That's what I'm trying to do here. You can definitely taste the grape. It's going to need some sugar. I'm going to start with 2 cups first. And maybe 3. If I can get away with no more than 3 cups, right? I'm going to start with 2 first. I'm going to boil it down. Because all I want to do is just thicken it up. Oh, I just seen a grape in there with a seed. 2 seeds. Do you see those seeds? I see those seeds. I see 1 seed. I see 1 seed. I think this other one is just a grape. I don't know what that is. That's the skin of a grape. There's a couple of little teeny weeny grapes. Anyway, we'll start with 2 cups of sugar and we'll boil it down and see what we get. Hold on. Okay, I put 2 cups of sugar in there. I squeezed out a bit more of that juice from that apple. And now I'm bringing it to a boil. You can see I've tasted it. Alright, and tastes like grape, people. You don't even taste the apple in it, honest to God. Right? It's still a little tart. Right? But I don't want to put a lot of sugar in it. That's the thing. Okay? That's why I'm using the apple. Hold on. It tastes like grape, and it doesn't need no more sugar in terms of canning. Now this juice here, I'm going to put in the fridge. I'll look around for a couple more jars, but I don't think that's going to be no more than 2 of these. Right? And I'll probably can that in the morning before I start my day. I have to put these in the oven though, right? Right now I've got the other jars. I'm going to just focus on this tonight. Right? Put that in the fridge. Put that back in the fridge. And, I mean, I'm not going to do apples tonight, but I'll do those apples tomorrow. Right? Mix them in with that. And then can, assuming I can gather. I do have jars, but I'm running out of jars. Right? And of course, I'm going to just keep using what I'm using. So anyway, you can see what I'm doing here. So now what we're going to do is just boil it off for a little bit. Right? They call it scum, but it's not. It's just a lot of air bubbles, that kind of stuff. So we just want to bring it up to a boil. Boil it off for a bit. Right? Until the bubbles, you'll see it change. The color changes. Right? Bring it up high. You get that rich velvetly color, right? Now mind you, this is apples and grapes. So over a period of time in the jar, it's going to oxidize. Okay? It's going to change. It's going to change its color. But don't let that deter you. Okay? You can see they were green grapes, but they're not anymore. And just with the amount of sugar that I put in that, just a bit in this, it's going to be tasty. So, hold on. So, those are apple seeds. I rescue them. Either this year, this winter, I'm gonna start some more apple trees. Right? It's a hit and miss as to what kind of apple you're going to get. But anyway, I'm going to start some apple trees. A few more. Right, with these, and then when I send out my boxes, I'm going to give a couple to Lucy and a couple to April, and maybe they might want to start their own little apple trees. Okay, you don't eat apple seeds, you can see, right, so whatever I did today, I take out the seeds and I save them. These ones are dry, these ones still have to dry. And then the grape seeds, you can see they're piling up. This is cooking away, right? As a matter of fact, I'm going to turn it down just a little bit more. That's a little bit too high. Maybe on a 4. And I'm just going to simmer it down for a bit. And I'm going to can it like that. I don't know what I'm going to get. I don't know how thick it's going to get because it only has 2 cups of sugar. But I don't want to put any more sugar in there, right? That's why I did the apple. I mean, I could take some of the actual apple itself, not a lot. Maybe I might do that. I already stuck it in the fridge. Right? And I could put it in here, but I don't want to lose the grape taste. That's right. You put too much apple in there and it'll start tasting like apple. Right? Tastes like grape. Oh my God. Okay. So, I got this almost where I want. Look at the time. Almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Okay? But, I had to add a bit of that apples. Right? But I'm not trying to change the taste of the grape itself. So, I don't think I keep taking out seeds, people. Every now and then. You're sitting there picking out all these seeds. It's hard. It's not easy. You miss some. You missed a fair amount, actually. But considering how many grapes I squeezed, I didn't do too bad. You'll see after they're all finished in the dehydrator. I'll show you before I grind them up. Just to give you an idea. Most of them actually had 1 seed. Some of them had 3. Look, there's 2 right there. Alright. And I was thinking, you know what this would be good for? With cottage cheese. Amari would like that. Yeah. So, you have a meal with some cottage cheese, and that just kind of like sprinkled on top. I don't know. I guess it's kind of... just keep finding seeds. See how many I found so far? But you can see, oh no, there's another seed. Where did it go? Oh my. Can you see now? That's kind of what I'm, oh, there's another seed. So, another 10 minutes or so. I've started the water. It's going to take about 10 minutes or so to heat that up. And as that's heating up, this can just simmer for a little while longer. Obviously, try and get these seeds out. Whenever they're coming to the surface, that's what's happening. Right? As I'm stirring them. As I'm stirring the pot. There's another one. I'll be doing this all night. Right. So you see? That's kind of what I'm looking for. But, right, for the most part. So I'm not going to put any more apple in it because I don't want it to lose its grape taste. If I wanted apple, no, there's another one. If I wanted apple, I'd have apple, but I've got lots of apple. And I'm going to do this again. So I'm not going to peel those. I'm going to put those back in the fridge until I have more of this, more grapes, right? And I'm going to do another batch because I like this. This is something that you can cook up with meat, like chicken or some pork or something like that. Lamb would be nice, right? You could put it in a jar full with your meat. You can have it with cottage cheese. I was thinking with broccoli would be nice, right? You know, just instead of butter, maybe use that. Obviously, you can put it on pancakes because that's why I'm trying to bring it into this consistency. So it's kind of like, no, there's another seed. It's kind of like a, what do you call it? Not really a syrup, but kind of like a syrup. Right? So, almost done. Okay, 10 jars, everything that I basically wanted. Still a little tart, but that's okay. I used, 2 cups of sugar, right? And that's 10 jars, so I don't know what the ratio is per jar, but either or, it's better than fructose or corn syrup. Okay, just keep that in mind. So I already wiped the rims, put the lids on, put them in the hot canner, right? Bring it to a boil, put your lid on in 10 minutes. Turn off your heat. Don't lift up the lid for about 5-10 minutes, right? And then take off your lid and then take out your jars and you're good to go. And I'm going to do this again. So I don't know if I'm going to be picking grapes tomorrow, but I'm going to definitely can. Okay. I'm going to can that juice in the morning before I go downstairs. It's 1:30 now, so by the time I'm done, it will be 2, right? And then I'm going to can that juice in the morning just because, right? Got to move along. And then I'm going to go downstairs and continue doing what I'm doing down there because that's going to take a little while as I'm, you know, getting ready to, because Monday, Tuesday, it's not going to be raining, right? And some of those things I pulled out from that little shed are full of water now. It's just the routine around this house. But anyway, that's okay. It's just stuff, nothing important, right? Nothing that can't be fixed. And Monday and Tuesday are supposed to be a little more sunny, so, right? So I only got 1 to 2 days to put this food downstairs away. And before I peel those apples, I'm going to need a whole bunch more grapes. And as the days go by, they're ripening more and more. So I'm going to definitely do another batch because this, like I said, you can cook it with meat. You can mix it in with a little bit of cottage cheese. You could put it as a flavoring for broccoli, that kind of stuff. It would be good. Or you could use it straight up, just like that, for what's it called? Pancakes, or waffles, or that kind of stuff. You can see, that's what I wanted. Okay, so I'm happy. I'm happy I did that. Okay, so the other thing I wanted to say is, like, seriously, there's, like, becoming a serious jar shortage. So I'm glad I have jars. Because even if I run out of jars and I can't afford, not that I can't afford, but I can't find them, people, I've got other jars with stuff in it. I showed you already what to do. You go into your jars and you just transfer things around so you free up a few more jars, right? I can do that if I need to, right? In the event that I can't find any, because there are none. Which brings me to say that problem is occurring with lids as well, right? So through my reading on YouTube and what people have to say with what they're going through. Now, I'm not saying you should do this because they recommend that you don't, but if worst case scenario happens and you have jars but you can't find lids, people, because our governments are screwing us around, right? Because they want us sick, they want us dying. Because then if we're sick and dying and we disappear or whatever it may be and we die, you know, it justifies what they're doing in terms of snatching up on those dead bodies. Okay? Like, just to give you an example, when John Horgan was up there going on about, I have a video on this, right? I don't know if I recorded him saying this, but I have a video of him on that day when he said that over the next umpteen, I don't know how many years, but 50% of the population, 50% of the population, people, is going to come down with cancer. That's bullshit. Okay, there's absolutely no reason for 50% of the population to be coming down with cancer, unless, of course, our governments are screwing us around. And, like, why would they want that? Right? But it's that predictive programming. So, in the event that you can't find lids in a year from now, as you're going about popping your jars to use them, maybe you should be thinking to do them a different way. Versus taking this, okay? Because I'm going to try this, people, because you need the lids, right? You can't can unless you have lids. And if you can't find them, what you going to do? Huh? So, I'll just show you. Hopefully you'll see. Okay. Let's see. Do you see this jar? There's a little dent in it. I don't know. Can you see? Right. This is just, it's a used lid that I used this to open with, and it dented it. Can you see? Right there. Maybe versus not doing it that way, when you have a jar, we'll just say this one here for example, it says blackberry jelly. This one hasn't, this one's been preserved. Come up in through here and pop it up that way. And then you can take off this stuff, right, with a little bit of vim or whatever. And then after it's dry, you can write down 1 so that you know that you've used this one time. because apparently people are using them 3-4 times in a row. I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just saying that if you find yourself in that position where you have jars, but you don't have lids, and you can't find them, well, maybe you should be thinking about that the next time you open up one of your jars. Because that's what I'm going to do. See, not a big deal for me, because when I do those little jars for Amari, I just use my old lids. Right? I just use my old lids. Right? You see, I can't... They said as long as this isn't cracked, as long as this is not cracked, it's fine. But if you're going to start puncturing your lids because of the way you open them, I wouldn't recommend it. And then, of course, do you see how it bends here? You don't want to use that one either. But if I'm just making some food for Amari that I'm going to throw into the freezer, these are perfectly fine. Right. So I just wanted to point that out to you. Right? You know. So put that in the back of your mind. You know, in the event of you can't find canning lids, maybe you should be thinking about just being a little more gentle when you pop your jars, and wash them, number them, and put them off to the side and keep them as an emergency stash. How about that? Okay? The better ones, that is. Because it might be the only jar lids that you have, and you might not be able to find them. Because again, our governments are purposely doing what they're doing to kill us off one by one, little by little, as they snatch up on our bodies. I can't stress that enough. Right? People gotta stop being fooled. They really do. Right? And if we've got all these kids coming down with autism and all this shit, right? And now they're saying that 50% of the population is gonna come down with cancer. Like, that's pathetic, people. They're just propping up their corrupt healthcare system. That's what they're doing. Yep, and they're feeding off of the sick and the weak. Yep, Ciera was sick and weak. ShaMay wasn't sick and weak. ShaMay was a threat to them. Right? Because she was intelligent, had an extremely high IQ, and she would have bucked the establishment, and they didn't want that. So, MK Ultra, right? Mind control. They did something. I have it on video. Right over Julian's shoulder as he was fucking raging. Was that coincidence? No, I don't think so. Nope, not at all. I know how these bastards work. In terms of government psyop, body snatching. Okay? They're not serving the public, trust me. They're not. So, if you have to, recycle your lids, okay? Don't let, well, I can't find lids. How am I going to can? Well, I just told you what to do. Alright? Okay, so now it's the next day. I like this, people. I really do. I think this, you see, do you see how that is? That's exactly the way I wanted it. Right? And then I can mix it into other foods, or you can have it on pancakes, you can put it in a crepe, that kind of stuff. And then, of course, we've got more, and they're, you know, they're falling off, you can see, right? So they're not as ripe as they could be. Some are, some aren't. Like that one was perfectly fine. Most of them are. And when you're doing stuff like this, it's better to get it, they said, what, 2 weeks early? Right? Versus, I don't know what people do with this other than make wine, and you can eat them. Right? There's tons of them out there. I'm gonna have to climb on top of a freaking ladder. Seriously, I gotta bring out my ladder. I might even have to bring out my 100-foot ladder. Right? I might have to. I don't know how I'd use it, but I have to cut back some of the vines, and there's like grapes all like up high in that tree. So anyway, I did those last night. Right? Now I've got the 2 jars for juice, which I'm going downstairs. So I'm going to bring the camera with me. We'll just, you know, spend a few more hours down there. I have to move that meat. I'll show you where I put it. That's, no, not a good idea. Right? And put it somewhere else. And, you know, Monday and Tuesday, it's not supposed to, it's raining right now. I can hear it. I'm a little wet and got these grapes. And then Monday and Tuesday, hopefully it won't be raining and I'll be outside again. Right? It just never ends. So when I come upstairs today, then I'll get on with canning those 2 jars of juice. Right? Waste not, want not. I'll can them. And I don't know if I'm going to start picking grapes tonight. Maybe start, because that bowl will take all day. It can take all day. And that's the thing. If ShaMay was here, I know ShaMay would be helping me with that, right? Because she really wanted to learn this stuff, right? She got all excited when we were doing pickles. That was her first time. That was her first and last time, people. She never made it past that point. She never had a chance, right? So, anyway, it is what it is. My biggest fear is when I'm gone. When I'm gone, right? This is why I kind of want to write this book. You know, how to look after Amari. So that when I'm gone, you know, there's that book with recipes in it. Stuff like this, right? You know. But the thing is, you know, I mean, it's one thing going to the grocery store, and I'm not putting down the product. It's one thing going to the grocery store and buying this stuff that's ozoned, irradiated, just the whole 9 yards, versus taking a couple of days and doing stuff like this, right? Two different things, people. You know, and that's my biggest worry, that Amari's going to end up in the end being fed this stuff all the time, because nobody's going to want to take the time to do this stuff. But, you know, you can't worry about stuff like that, right? So, okay, so now I'm going to go downstairs, leave these, I just washed them, let them dry. I put those tomatoes in the freezer, so actually I need a bag for that. Find a bag, throw them in a bag. You know what my son did? All that cake I made, remember? With the black walnut and everything, and wrapped it up. I don't know, he went camping or something, and he needed to freeze some stuff, and he took out the box, and he left it out. I put it in the compost there. Raccoons are probably eating it now. It is what it is. What can you do, right? So I have to do that again. That will give me an opportunity to get some black walnut out from the freezer and do that again after all this stuff is done. Right? Okay, so I'll be back. Okay, change plans. I'm not downstairs today. I am upstairs. Do you see what's in there? Look, some kind of jar. Alright, hold on. Okay, so there you go. Now these ones right here, where are they? Where is it? This one. It's a different rim, but plus I have them in glass and the rubber. But I don't have too many of Joel's kind of jars anymore because they don't make them anymore. But there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, anyway. 10, 11, 12. And then there's that little one. So I'm happy with that. Okay, so I just put back in there for now those, I guess, booze bottles. Right? Because, you know, those are good for food storage. Dehydrated food, spices, peppers, that kind of stuff. And then I got a nice big thing of jars here. And you see, you stock up on lids too, right? Do you see? But they might be disappearing like everything else these days. Okay, so as you can see, right, we're still doing pretty good upstairs too. Right? What do you think? All kinds of stuff in there. Dust though, just dust. Everything's dusty. Dusty, dusty, dusty. Very dusty. Okay, scooping up on the sardines back there. Can you see that? That's juice. Do you see this old sewing machine? Look how old it is, people. It's nice though because it has its own desk. Bought it a long time ago. It's been sitting here for years. Right? I think Amari's wheelchair can get through here, I think. But anyway, I've never used this. And if I did, it was only when I first got it. I don't even remember where I got it from. It has all kinds of attachments, but I don't see any directions of any kind. Now I can Google it and probably find them and pay to get them and then print them out. I did that with my other sewing machine. Or I may have them in my sewing room, but you can see there's all kinds of stuff. I don't see anyway, I'm going to see if I can spark it up. Honest God, I don't know. I don't know what all these parts are for. You see? This one here, I think, was for some other machine that maybe I had a long time ago, or got another one kicking around downstairs. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going through them. Here's some old needles, eh, people? Look how old these are. Eh? Can you see? I like old sewing stuff. I really do. Needles for woven. Right? And then they've got little screwdrivers. Those are kind of nice. I like those. Right? There's a little crochet needle. Very tiny. Very, very small. I don't know. Do you see that one? Look how small it is. Very, very tiny. Look how tiny. Oh, didn't have it on. I was saying old school bobbins, right? Do you see? I don't know though if they fit in there, right?